Hey, welcome! Today I can finally show you the new version of the material pack, the version 1.2. In this pack, more materials were added, but this version was also more focused on getting all materials into node groups. So you have for every material an extra node group with extra properties that you can change and with a simplified UI. So you don't have the whole node tree on every single material. So now you can change on every single material, you can change easily some properties in the node editor. So if you don't know what we're talking about, I'm talking about my material pack on Gumroad. There are two versions. My Gumroad shop, you can find the link on the video description. There are two versions. There's also a free version. You can try that. But in the free versions are not that much advanced materials integrated. And in the advanced material pack, those materials are also animated, those that make sense, of course. And you can click on here to go on the product page, and you can read here more. You can read what materials are included in them. And here on the bottom, you can see it's updated to version 1.2, and this is the version we will be talking about today. And of course, if you have requests for more materials, patterns, colors, or you want to give feedback, you can message me here on this email address, of course. And let's get started. So now I'm on a new scene here that I've created to show you all new materials and the new features in the material pack. For this, we have to first import the materials that we've downloaded from the Gumroad Shop into our blend file. We can do this by Edit and Preferences, and then we can go here down to File Path, and here under Asset Libraries we can add a new asset library. And here you have to search for the zip file that you have downloaded from the Gumroad Shop, and then you have to unzip the zip file, and then you have to go to the location where the blend file is stored, and then you have to click on Add Asset Library. Now this is added. You can also choose a name. I call it my Material Pack 1.2, and then we can save the preferences. And now all the materials were added into our system. So we can go here onto the asset browser, and now we can see, oh no, it's completely empty, and this is because we are on the current file. But now we have here also the Material Pack 1.2, and we can click on that, and now we can see, yes, all materials got imported, and we can see them all in here. And there are categories here, and the first thing I have to show you that is new, we can go here on the side panel, and I've added to every single material I have added a description on what render engine it is compatible with. So all the cartoon materials, we can go here onto the cartoon, they are only Eevee compatible. So they only work in Eevee. In Cycles they are very weird. But for instance, if we would go to the ceramic, they are all Eevee and Cycles compatible with. And so you can go on every single material and you can look first what they are compatible with. Some are also best in Cycles. They are working in Eevee, but best in Cycles. They are looking a bit strange in Eevee there. So you can see it also in the asset browser. So I've added that first. And now we can look at the additions to the material pack. For that, we can first go into rendered mode here in Cycles, and we can see this scene has no materials. And one thing we can add first is the world background. So I've made also those. The pictures are a little bit destroyed, but that's a lack of the asset browser. That's not my fault. So we have here the simple blue sky. We can simply drag it in, and then we have a simple blue sky like this. We have also the material library background, but that's all just for me. That's nothing you would use in your project, that's just for me. Then we have the simple universe. So that's maybe if you're going with a spaceship somewhere. We have the star sky. That's a very interesting one. Like this. Maybe gets improved in the future, but this is the first version of it. And then we have the sunrise. For now, I will stick with the star sky because it is the most complicated and has the detail of the stars. Now we can start with the materials. So the first new materials were added in the emission. And here we have the Fresnel pattern nodes, and I can drag it, for instance, onto the sphere. And you can't see it that good. Maybe onto this sphere. Yes, looks a bit better. And if we would now use the sunrise, yes, you can see it in the dark here. So it looks like this. And we can here also open the shader editor. And here you can see the biggest improvement to the material pack. It is a node group. So it doesn't look like this anymore. It looks like this. So you have all your properties. You can simply change them if you want. You can make all that stuff just simple and easy. Randomness. So you can change all of this easily in this node group. And sometimes those node groups have also a mask output and an albedo output. So you can use them also in your node groups. And we have here also several colors like this. And also inverted. So looks like that. For some interesting effects. And then we have the wireframe. And we can use this maybe on the cone. So you can use that maybe for UI, and we have two different thickness. You can also change the properties, of course, in here. Thickness, emission strength. You can play with this more in the shader editor, of course. And then we can go to the extra tab. And here the first new thing is the magic wrap material. And this is one of my favorites because it's a very interesting effect. Maybe I'll do a tutorial for this in the future. But if we would go to the sphere and we would throw on the magic wrap material, you can see here it wraps everything into the middle. And we can also play with this here more. We can change the saturation. We can change the color hue. So if we want that, we can change the zoom. So now all these stars get also dragged into the middle. So we can experiment with this a little bit more. So this is the factor of how much. And of course the roughness. So this is a very nice material. And if we go into the sphere, then we can look around, and it's a very interesting effect. Let me say it that way. But then gets really more interesting. Then we have the planet materials added. For instance, the moon. You can see it that good because it's very dark. So let me grab the simple blue sky. So here you can see the moon. And you can, of course, like all the other, you can change all the properties in here. You can play with this. You can add more craters or less craters. You can change the randomness. everything. You can change also the color, so blue and the pinkish moon. You can change all of that if you want to. And then we have also the planet A material, and you can use that of course on other types too if you want to. But more interesting is also the planet B. So let me change a darker background like this. So now we can see the thing. Here we can change everything. You can change the land mass, so how much land we want. You can play with this more. I'm just giving a short instruction. So the lava noise strength. So here it is more like cartoonish maybe. And you can change the color of the whole thing, of the atmosphere. You can change the lava. You can change everything in those nice simple node groups. And then we have also the world material. And this one is really nice because it has a day and night cycle. So here on this control, you can change where the day and night is, like this. And you can also clarify an object, so where the day and night cycle should come from. So let me orient it like this, so it's a little bit tricky, like this. And now we can see here is night and here is day. And of course we can also clarify the land mass, so how much land should be on this planet. We can adjust the scale. We can adjust the pole region, so how much North Pole and South Pole we want to have. The pole fall off. I have here a very harsh fall off because it looks like more like the Earth. The atmosphere, blend, clouds, and you can change everything. I won't go into this that much. How bright the cities should be. And we have also Reptile Skin, since this was recommended. It looks like this. Maybe looks better with another background. Yeah, and here you can see we have the albedo and also the mask as output, so you can use that in your node trees. And also you can change the color hue to use it on everything. You can change the randomness. You can just play around with this. And this should be everything new in the extra panel. We have also some additions to the fabric. The Indian patterns are new, so we can maybe use them on the cone. So we have something like that. No, I think it does look best. Yes, on here. So 1, 2, and the third one. So the third one is also in the free version if you want to grab that. And here, of course, as everywhere, you can change the hue, you can change the brightness, the pattern shape. You can change just everything how you want it to be. The dirt, the fabric scale, the ring amount, how much rings you want to have, so how simple it should be. And something that was also recommended is the super suit material. So if you want to have Marvel-like super suits, it would then look like that, maybe. So if you would have the sunrise here, it looks even more epic. So it is like this. So here I now see I forgot the group, but it's not that bad. Here are also some significant additions, like we have Glas Refraction. So this is really nice. So if we would, so let me now take the sky again. Here you can see it already refracts. And if we would take also the background of Blender, you can also see the refraction. So it's very strong, but you can adjust it here like this. And of course also saturation, and you can also set the brightness of the whole thing. And of course color hue if you want to have another color tone, and IOR addition. So if you want to change a little bit the IOR on the thing, and the roughness and the whole thing. I have also another type of refraction. So this is more artistic. So you have here two colors of refraction, and you can also change the hue. So this is more of an artistic. But now we will be going to the rain material, and this one is really interesting because this one is, by the way, also animated, as you can see here. And of course you can also change all the properties. So let me go to the sunrise again, like this. And of course you can change all the properties in here. How much droplets should the whole thing have, and how fast it should be, the time threshold. So now it's really fast. And yeah, you can change everything in here. The color of the glass, of course. And we have also the rain puddles. So this was a nice experiment I did. It's obviously very slow, so I will show you only the mask. So here you can also see what is going on. So this is, by the way, also animated, as you can see here. And here we can also see, of course, we can play with the scale, how much rings they should have. So if we want to have more stylized things like that. And of course the smoothness, so it's a little bit buggy right now, so don't use this. And also the randomness, it's up to you. Right now it's very slow, but that can also be because I'm recording. In the ground, there should be nothing new. The forest ground is, I think, new. So if we will take the blue sky, so the forest ground, and then we have also the mossy forest ground, like this. You can use that in your scenes. And then we go to the metal, and here is the brushed metal. This is something new. So for very rich scenes you can use that. Also normal metal, that's not gold. And in the plastic is nothing new. And on the sci-fi we have the Hexagon Shield, which looks like this. So this is also very interesting. So if you are planning a project, a sci-fi project, you could use that for nice effects. And also here you have also all the masks exposed. Of course, change everything in. That's also really nice. And then we have the smart materials. And here is the wireframe new. If we would use this on here, you can see nothing. And this is because this material doesn't have, so this thing is smooth shaded, so you can't see as much. But if I would go to this rough material here, you can see here it does work better. So let me adjust the thickness. So there's a difference between the smart wireframe and the normal wireframe. So let me go back to the normal wireframe. You can see here, you can see nothing. You can see here on the bottom there are triangles, and if I would go to the smart material, there aren't any triangles. So the smart one is a little bit more expensive to render, but for that it doesn't produce where n-gons are, there aren't any triangles then. So for that there's the smart material. In the stone, I think only the stone floor is new. And in the stylized we have the Minecraft materials. Maybe if you want to do something like that here. I've also counted how much pixels the Minecraft block has. And now we are experiencing another time I forgot to make a group. But that should be coming in the next update, and also the Minecraft stone. In the volumetric, there are also some very interesting materials. We have, for instance, the basic clouds got a little bit of an update, so now they're looking a little bit better. I wanted to distort them a little bit more, should be coming in the next update. But we have the cell generator, so we can look at this. This is a very interesting effect. I mean, it's up to you what you're doing with this, but you can of course change the hue, the randomness of it, so you have also some kind of grid. If you do like this, is also very interesting. So you have also a little bit of distortion that you can use to make a pattern like this. And of course the thickness of the whole thing. Also the scale. So you can make shapes like that. And then we have the Pube Rasterization, and that was another nice experiment I did. So those are all tiny little cubes. So if I would show you with the scale of 1, those are all cubes in a volume. So if you scale it up to 100 times, you get patterns like this, where you can fly through. And here you can also change all the things in here. So now it's more like confetti. And the scale of the pieces, the color hue, you can change that however you want. The brightness, of course. So this is the randomized scale, but the main effect is for scaling it up, and then you will get all those crazy patterns that you can see here. So then we have also the fire-ish volume that got another little update. Nothing that crazy, but we have also the glitch material, and this also animated. So if you want to make like TV things, you can use that. I believe you can also make it, yeah, like this. And of course you can change everything in here. The increments, you can also blur the whole thing. So if you want to do that. And we have also the soft blur, and this is very beautiful effect. Somehow reminds me of iOS and Apple. But here you can also define the blur and also the clamp. And you can play around with this however you want to. You can also change the color, of course. The volume stars got also a little bit of an update, so now they look like stars. You can change everything in here. You're free to do that. In the wall, we got no updates, and so we didn't get one in the woods. We got the word backgrounds, so I already showed you all those backgrounds. You can just drag them in. If you want to have more nice backgrounds, you can just give me feedback on that. And those were simply all the new materials. I hope I forgot nothing. As I've said, not as much materials are new because I've grouped everything, and this is crazy. Look at this. So before you had seen this and now you're seeing this. So this update was more focused on putting everything into groups, and so you can use them also in other node groups as mask or the albedo, however you want to. And I hope you like the update. It has some really nice additions. And if you want to give me feedback, of course, as said, you can write me a comment under this video, or if you're still here and watching the video, thank you all for watching till the end. I hope you like the new update to the material pack, and you can leave your feedback in the comments. The link to the Gumroad and the material pack is of course in the description. You can check that out. You can read also the descriptions here. And as said, there's also a free version here, but doesn't have that much materials and also not the advanced and big ones. And it's not animated. And yes, you can find all of that in my Gumroad shop. The link is in the description. And thank you all for watching. See you next time.